If there's one thing we haven't done on the channel for a while is have a good unboxing session. So that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. Now, some channels might spend half an hour of your precious time on a single unboxing, but in this video, I'm going to give you 6. The main focus, of course, is on the Beatles, but there's also one with Rolling Stones records in, and another containing the long-awaited, well, by me anyway, Super Deluxe reissue set of one of the 80s finest pop albums. So settle down and kick back with a beverage or two and enjoy this session. This is a beautiful package from France, where someone has used some 30-year-old stamps from the early 90s to send this parcel. And although not being a stamp collector, I love to see these type of stamps still being used. So many different kinds. Really nice. Well, let's hope the record inside is as nice as the stamps. So, let's get it open. There we go. It's a Magical Mystery Tour. Now, this is a special edition Magical Mystery Tour. As it says on the top here, this is a special edition German Record Club edition. Used the same sleeve as the American version. This one's a bit dirty on the back, but not too bothered about the sleeve at this point. This was, I think, released in 1976. This was released in 1976. This came out in the mid-70s and was a limited edition, and is still quite easy to find on your favorite online selling platforms. But the interesting thing about this is that although it says on the label there, Club Special Edition, Club Sonderauflage, it does use the same matrices as our great sounding friend, the German Herzu pressing, -1 and there it is. I'm not sure if you can see that. I can't see that. There we go. -3. It's there. So this is the really great sounding cut which you get with a Herzu pressing. But these can be found at a much cheaper price. So I'm letting you in on a little secret there. If you see some of these German special edition albums around, snap them up because they're, at the moment, a bit cheaper than the Herzu pressing, the one with the purple cover. This one's not in such great shape, but it wasn't very expensive, and it's guaranteed to sound great. Now, allow me to butt in at this point and say that there were actually 2 editions of this Record Club pressing. The first in 1973 with this catalogue number, which had -1-1 matrices with the fake stereo mixes. The one I just showed you was the 1976 edition with this catalogue number, which has the true stereo mixes. Okay, carry on. Next up is a package from Germany. This one's obviously going to have a German record inside it. But which one? Let's have a look. I'll give you a clue. It's not Magical Mystery Tour. This one is Sgt. Pepper. Let's take it out of the plastic cover, and you can see that this copy is still sealed. There's a small tear in the shrink here, but that's a little consequence. This has a 072 catalogue number with a cassette symbol underneath, and it's an Apple pressing. from Germany. There's another hole in the shrink here. So I guess this is late 70s, early 80s. But which pressing is inside it? We need to know the matrix numbers before we can determine whether or not this is a good sounding pressing. So what I'm going to do is open it. Now I know some people don't like to open sealed records, but in this case, I'm not going to know which pressing it is unless I open it. So I'm going to go for it. There we go. Easy as that. Let's have a look what we've got inside. Have we got a cutout sheet? No, I think this pocket is sealed, so I won't break that. We don't have a cutout sheet, but what we do have is an inner sleeve showing various record cleaning and storage products made by EMI Electrola. Recommended by Hertzu. Right, let's have a look at the record itself, which of course is in mint unplayed condition. And let's have a look at the matrix numbers. So what we've got here, now if I can catch the light, maybe that one's better. Yeah, I think that's better. This has the original SHZE 401-A-1 matrix and a secondary A-1 matrix. On the other side, it has no, oh yes it does, it has two matrices together. There we go, the SHZE 401B2 and the 04177B-2. So this basically is the same cutting as the original 1967 and not the big bass cut, if you like, the A1B1 from the early 80s. It's quite a neutral sounding record, not as bombastic as some of the later German cuttings, and not a bad sounding record at all. So there we go, mystery solved. That's what that record is. So it was late 1970s after all. You get these inner sleeves with some of the early German box sets. There we go, mystery solved. Well, here's a package from Amazon which contains some new records, which are not Beatles. So a bit of over packaging, I think, here by Amazon, as usual. Yeah. Packing slip, and there are the records. Well, there's two records in here actually. One is packed, the other isn't. Let's look at the one that isn't packed first. And it is Hot Rocks. The Rolling Stones Hot Rocks, 1964 to 1971. This is a brand new ABCO album, or ABCO pressed album, DSD, Direct Stream Digital. So it's cut from a digital file, and nice to see them putting that up front. So classic Stones compilation. Great tracks. So with that in mind, can you guess what is in this one? Let's see, let's crack it open the proper way. Yep, you guessed it. More Hot Rocks, big hits and phased cookies. So this one is the limited edition 2 times 180 gram glow-in-the-dark vinyl with lithographs on archival paper and original gatefold art. So there's the track listing. Okay, this is a record store day release. I bought this one on Amazon today, so there's plenty of stock left over. Let's say we crack it open and have a look. Okay, there's the artwork. It's Gerard Mankiewicz photograph, 2022. Okay, that's a 2022 record store day release. Okay, and there's a great shot of the group in Hyde Park for the between the buttons shot, and the record. There it is, a sort of milky yellow color, which is supposed to glow in the dark. I'm not sure if it does, but let's turn the lights out and see if it really does glow in the dark. Ah, it actually does. It's not pitch black in here, but there's definitely some luminescence there. It did glow in the dark for a bit, but it seems to have gone now. That's a bit odd. I think probably you have to load it up with light first. Let's try with the second record. Yeah, there we go. I think the trick is you have to load it up with some light first, and that sort of activates the glow-in-the-dark properties. So the other piece of artwork you get with this album are the photos taken again by Gerard Mankiewicz, which were used for the Out of Our Heads album. And on the inner sleeve of that one is more Hyde Park sessions. So the reason I bought these, I don't have them in my collection actually. What I do have, of course, are the British versions, well, kind of versions of this album, compilations from the 60s, Big Hits, High Tide, Green Grass from 1966. This is a stereo copy of that with the original laminated gatefold and green Decca label. It's a first pressing record. This one doesn't have the booklet inside actually, and the sleeve is not a first pressing one because the original first pressing sleeve had holes here where it would show mono or stereo indicators. This is just a dedicated stereo sleeve. And of course, Through the Past Darkly, Big Hits Volume 2. This is a UK first pressing and a slightly later inner sleeve, modified to fit. And this is on the unboxed Decca label. Anyway, that's going to be the subject of a forthcoming video where I'm going to, well, not really compare, but I'm going to have a look at the British greatest hits albums and basically the American greatest hits albums, the first ones which came out. So Hot Rocks Volume 1 and More Hot Rocks. So look out for those on the channel at a future date. Okay, first big box. It is quite a big box, and this is a box set. This particular one comes from Germany. But it might not be a German box set. It's like a pair of trainers to me. No. Empty box, empty shoebox. Just the packaging. Well, I'll never complain about overpacking. There it is. That's what we came for. Right, as you can see, it's a BC13 Beatles collection box set. Bit of wear on the set there, but you know, this box set is 30, 40 years old now, so it's going to have a bit of shelf wear. Very difficult to find them in pristine condition. The only question is, which one is this? It's textured, so it's not a German one. The German ones had a different texture. This is a German one, had this sort of more leatherette finish. Yeah, and was a bit darker and had a number in the top left-hand corner. So it's not a German one. Let's see if we get any clues from the first sight. No, not really. Oh, something else in here. A little bonus. It's nice. I like it when sellers put little bonus records in. This is a copy of Hey Jude. German Apple, mid-70s, stereo. Hey Jude Revolution. Looks like it came from the German equivalent of the green-sleeved Beatles Singles Collection box set. Still, nice to have. Thank you, seller, for that. Much appreciated. That's assuming he knew it was in there. Okay, Beatles Rarities. This will tell us exactly which pressing it is. It's got PSLP 261 on it, and it has the sampling up for sale, so it's correct for this set. PSLP 1 would indicate that it is a UK one, and indeed it is. That's the EMI inner sleeve, and it is date coded at 1181, so November 81. So this record was not made after that date. It may have been pressed a little bit before, but it wasn't made after then. This one looks to be in perfect shape. Bit of static there on the inner sleeve as I took it out indicates that it hasn't been played hardly ever at all. And it's a -3, -2. Okay, so we know it's a British set. Hopefully they're all British albums, and it seems that they're in a random order. So we'll go through them quickly. You know, these sets were put together in the factory, so they usually weren't all the same date. This one, for example, is from April 1981, and it's a -5. -6. No, it's a dash. Yes, it is a -6. -5, -6. Hard Day's Night. This one's a bit. This one's a bit later. This is from January 82. So that sort of makes the set a bit younger than I originally thought it was. This is -4. Sorry if you can't see the matrix, but you have to take my word for it. That's -2. Of course, still analog cuttings at this stage. Of course, nothing digital until 1987. Great sounding stereo pressing. This one is from May 82, and it's Beatles for Sale, which is -4 and -6 by the looks of it. Yeah, that's a -6. Let it be with the parlophone symbol on the back. March 82. Harry Moss -4 cut and Same again on the other side, -4. Revolver in stereo. This one's June 82, so they're getting younger as we go on. This is a Harry Moss -3 cutting and a -4. Please please me, looking a little bit pale and washed out there. This one is March 82 and is a -4. -4. Yellow Submarine. In May 82. So this one was probably retailed at the end of 82. -7 and -3. White Album side opening with poster. Nice to see. Any photos in it? Don't think so. No date on this one. Just a large hair. Another hair. That's a -2. This one on the other side is a -2 as well. Doesn't look to be played very much, just a few random hairs on there, but that's something I'm happy to deal with. No photos. It's a shame. This one's got a date on it, January 82. -3, still analog, I think. And -6, that's probably, sorry, they're both analog, but vintage I'm talking, that's probably a recut from the 70s. But the first disc has 60s cuttings on. This is Rubber Soul. It's from July 82. And that's a long form matrix there. Not sure if you can see that. I think that's the latest one we have in this set, and a normal -6 on the back. More hairs. It's getting a bit odd now. May 82. Harry Moss -4 cutting and -4 cutting. Yeah, I'll have to definitely clean all these before they go anywhere else, because they are quite dusty as well as being quite hairy. A bit of a seam split on the top of that one, unfortunately. This one is also from July 82. And it's a -6. It's a Harry Moss -6 and a -4. Nice sounding cut. Finally, Sgt. Pepper. And we do have the cutouts. That's nice. Gatefold, of course. May 82. This one has a split label. It's a -5 and a -4. And a bit of a split on the inner as well. Anyway, that's a decent sounding set. Any early 80s BC13 is definitely worth picking up. All solid 100% analog cuttings, cut by Harry Moss, the great man himself. And that's a nice set. Let's have a look at another one. Right, this one also comes from Germany. No customs duties to pay on anything that comes from Germany. So I like buying from Germany. More good packing material. There it is. Nothing else in the box, I'm sure. Okay. Now this one also has a similar textured finish to the British one we just looked at. Slightly rippled there on the collection. And the box itself is in much better shape. Not so much shelf wear or damage on there. But I know, if I can remember what it was when I bought it, this is not a British box. Okay. So let's see if we can get some clues from looking at the cover. Has a 172 code, so it could be German. This one does have its bits for quite thick portrait photos and poster. This one is from the Netherlands. It's Dutch. We go light green Apple label. It came out top in our survey of the best sounding original white albums on the channel we did a while ago. As you can see, Glass Onion is spelt Glass Union. And this one has all local Dutch cuttings. Not sure if you can see that. There we go. That's a Dutch cutting. That's also Dutch cutting as well. And that is a really superb, smooth, rich, clean sounding cutting, I should say, and pressing of this album. And is one of my favorite pressings. This one has a different matrix on it. This has a stamped one. It's a Dutch one, -1Y, and this is -1Y as well. Some of these Dutch sets you can get with German albums in because they were sold in Germany. This is again a Dutch matrix on there, a revolver, and a stamped one on the other side. Not sure at this point exactly what date this set is. Some of them had earlier album codes, 062s. This is an 062. Yeah, this is an 062. That uses a British stamper. It's a -1, and this on the other side is a Dutch cutting. So sometimes they use the British metalwork to press these albums. So this is a bit of a crossover set. Again, with this one, this is a -7. So we just saw a -7 in the British set from the early 80s, and this is a -2 actually, which is even earlier than the cutting we saw on the UK box set, which I think was -3. So if that's early 80s, this might be late 70s. Beatles for Sale. Slightly different in a gatefold. Let's see what we've got here. With this a 1Y and a 1Y here. So Dutch cuttings and British cuttings so far, nothing German. The Rubber Soul's an interesting one. This one has a Dutch cutting -2Y on side 2, but an original 1965 British cutting on side 1, which is the -2 cutting, which didn't last for long in Britain and was quickly changed to -3. So that's a nice sounding pressing. Abbey Road. 749-2, that's a UK cutting, and on the other side is a Dutch cutting, which is a -2Y. It's odd how they mixed and matched the cuttings on each side. Let it be is, let's see, there's a Dutch 3Y on that side and a hand-etched 3Y on that side. Rarities is Dutch cutting 2. And this is the special Dutch cover, celebrating 100 years of sound, 1977. This uses a Dutch cutting on side 1, -1Y, and a stamped -2Y on side 2. Hard Day's Night without the red lettering. UK cutting on this one, -2 and -4, I think similar to the one we saw in the UK box set, which was a -4-2 as well. And finally, last but not least, Sgt. Pepper with a sort of faded red or dark pink background. The Dutch sleeves always had. This one has a UK cutting on side 1, which is, well, it says YEX 637 UK style, then it has -1 handwritten into it, and the other side has a dedicated Dutch cutting of -1Y. There you go. Really great sounding set, the Dutch box set. Consistently after the British box set, the best sounding BC13, I think. So do stay tuned until the end of the video to find out how you can get your hands on one of these beautiful blue box sets. Next up, here's something new. This came out a few weeks ago and is one of my all-time favorite 80s albums. So, nothing to do with the 60s here, and might not be your cup of tea, but it's an album which I remember fondly from my youth. And it's just been re-released as a special box set. There we go. There's a bit of a clue. ABC, Lexicon of Love. Italian. Unusual. I ordered this from the UK and it came from the UK. I even had to pay customs duties on it. And there it is. The same artwork which was used on the original album. And there's the spine. Let's crack it open and see how it looks. Okay, so let's have a look what's in here. I see. These don't actually come out. This is like a booklet. So that's the inside cover. Another page, and this is Mantrap. Great looking pictures. Martin Fry there, of course. And the picture sleeve singles for the album. And that's exactly what's on it. So LP1, you've got the Lexicon of Love. LP2, Route to the Lexicon, which are the demos. LP3, Route to the Lexicon again, some remixes and 7-inch versions. Then there's a live at the Hammersmith Odeon, 1982, on side 2 of LP3, and live at Hammersmith Odeon, 1982, on LP4. And on the Blu-ray, we've got a Dolby Atmos mix and a stereo mix, and the audio-visual is Mantrap film there. So let's have a quick look at what we've got inside. So this is disc 1. Nice to see they haven't put them in the inner sleeves, but kept them out. This is, as the certificate says, a mastering certificate. Has to be mastered by Miles Shoal at Abbey Road. And there's your certificate to prove it. Again, that's exactly the same as the original album, and the same label design as the original album. Two is the demos, I think. I won't bother getting the records out because I don't really want to damage them. Chapter 1, these are the demos. I think. Disc 2, yeah, Route to Lexicon. This is the Blu-ray, which has the Dolby Atmos mix of the album on it. If we can focus on that. And the Mantrap film, which I, in fact, have never seen. I'm looking forward to that. There we go, there's the Blu-ray itself. So I've heard good things about that from the reviews I've read so far, so I'm looking forward to listening to that. This one is the live, I think. Different color label. It's a nice orange. And some more reading matter on the inner sleeve. And one more, which is also a live album. Again, orange label and slightly different photos. Or maybe the same photos as on the original album. I hope you enjoyed looking through all of that. As I said, I'm going to be listing quite a few BC13 box sets on our website, parallogramauctions.com, in the weeks to come. So if you fancy owning one, check out the website or get in touch via email or social media. The links for all those are in the description. I hope you'll join me next time when I'll be looking at another fascinating story from Beatles history. But that's all for this one, so I'll say bye for now and thanks for watching.